It's one of the most familiar countries in Africa. But there's more to Kenya than meets the eye.
A little illumination, shall we?
Sweeping vistas alive with creatures, including powerful predators. But the most successful predator may not be who you think.
Unbelievable.
In fact, for every king of beasts, there is a queen.
Lions have been killed by hyenas.
I'm teaming up with hyena researchers to explore this misunderstood creature. And I'm on the trail of a hyena princess with secrets to share. It's a world of danger, legend, and misadventure. It's the mysterious world of the hyena.
I gotta show this. Come here, you gotta see this. Let's do a little exploring. Check it out. A toad. How's that for the sound of power? Definitely the unmistakable roar of what many people believe to be the king of beasts in this part of the world. Of course, you know who I'm talking about, Panthera leo, or the African lion. But guess what, guys? Our story here is bigger than the natural history of the African lion.
As the largest carnivore on the continent with masterful hunting skills, the lion is thought to be king. But in fact, it may not be that simple. The lion has a competitor that in many ways is more efficient at taking prey. That animal is the spotted hyena. Hyenas have the undeserved reputation for being weak scavengers, but I hope to elevate the status of the spotted hyena by dispelling some of the myths surrounding them and by revealing some of the fascinating facts about their natural history. Yes, the king of the jungle may actually have an equal in a competing queen. I'm here in the Masai Mara National Reserve in southwest Kenya to team up with researchers who are studying a particular clan of these amazing carnivores.
We're connecting with Joe Kalowski. Now, he's a graduate student working on his PhD and a researcher, hey Joe, with Michigan State. And he's a part of a long-term study that has for 14 years been looking into the world of these extraordinary and misunderstood animals. And this is hey, Matt Gibbons, and he's his research assistant.
Our mission? To dart and tranquilize hyenas so that we can gather blood samples, which will help the scientists map out the lineage of this amazing clan. And there's one very special hyena that we desperately need to find. She is a hyena princess named Inverness, who one day will likely be the alpha female or queen of her clan. If we get Her Royal Highness, her genetic information will help scientists explain how dominance is determined among these extraordinary creatures. And you thought the roads in your town were treacherous.
Yeah, floor it. Perfect.
We are using GPS satellite telemetry. Even though Inverness does not have a collar on herself, Joe has already collared several of Inverness's family members, and chances are we'll be able to find her if she's hanging out with them.
We've got a special antenna on top of the car. It points straight forward, and the signal is the loudest when we're pointing straight at it. So we just need to drive enough circles to narrow it down.
Plus, it really creates a lot of levity with the animals. They think it's funny, and it reduces tension and makes it just more fun.
This looks pretty good.
Oh, wow, look at this.
This is not Inverness, but it is a very important member of her family. Her name is Combat.
Okay, maybe I can get a shot at her.
Joe has been trying for some time now to get a tracking collar on her, and this may be his chance.
As you can see, Joe is preparing for combat, literally. About 2.5 years in age. They need this animal's DNA. This is what will be fired at the hyena at the right time, the right moment. It's the dart. This liquid here is the deal is all.
We must make sure that the hyenas do not associate us with the dart in any way. You see, Joe can't shoot if the hyenas are looking at us because they'll associate the dart with Joe in the study. If that happens, they'll just run away every time the car approaches. Thus, the study is completely jeopardized.
Many scientists equate the intelligence of these animals to primates, and their intelligence makes a great challenge for the people who are trying to study them.
Okay, everybody ready? She got her eyes closed. Yes. It's a simple shot. Oh my. You've got to be kidding me. Oh my God. She's okay.
Don't look at me. Please, please don't look at me. I feel like I'm in school and I just blew a spitball at the teacher.
Okay, we might be able to get another shot. Try one more time.
The methodology of the study may seem somewhat intrusive, but this is really the only way to examine these fascinating animals up close. Ultimately, this will generate important information to help people understand, and most importantly, conserve these special animals.
That 1714 comets down.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, what a beauty, huh?
Yeah, she's cute.
Okay, before we get started, we have to protect and cover her eyes. This will help her stay as calm and comfortable as possible. And also, this gel that I'm putting on will keep her eyeballs nice and moist.
Okay, so the first thing we need to do is bleed her. Do you want to try and bleed her?
I'd
Joe?
love to try.
Okay.
Sure. There you go.
Very good. All right. Just keep it as still as possible.
Now, why is this blood so important to you?
So that we can figure out completely what's going on as far as breeding in the clan. So for combat here, we know that her mom is Atari, one of the radio collar females, but we don't know who her dad is. And with this DNA, we're going to be able to figure that out.
Studies like this have discovered that nearly 100% of the males that come into clans to breed with females are from totally different communities. They're not pups that originated in that clan. Why would that be beneficial? Very simply, to prevent something like inbreeding. Where does this individual fit within the clan?
Her mom is the 6th ranked female out of 9.
Okay, so Combat isn't super high up on the ranking order of female hyenas, but she is higher than the #1 male hyena you'll find in this clan.
17.2.
What both lions and hyenas share in common is that they survive in a social unit, okay, where there is order, there is hierarchy, and the hierarchy is defined by the strongest and the fittest in that group. But with the lions, it's going to be the boys. With these hyenas, it's going to be the girls. All right, now comes the moment to put the collar in this creature. Okay, that's never coming out.
It's very important that we keep her out of harm's way by moving her to an inconspicuous spot before sunset. The last thing we want to do is leave her vulnerable to predators.
How's she doing back there?
She's okay. She's getting a little more anxious, but still pretty much down.
Okay, here's a good spot.
Okay, where do you want us to go, Joe?
Okay, let's just find a good spot under the bushes here.
Okay. You want to remove the shirt?
Yeah, we're all done, so we can
Okay.
take the shirt off and let
See,
her be.
she's starting to come about. We're going to stay close. She's tucked away, but we don't want anything bad to happen to her, but we also don't want
her to connect us to the study, so we might be out of range, but we'll be close enough if trouble happens.
Churchill, no. Stop it. Stop that. I am not food. I am your friend. This cutie right here is Churchill, and he's a dwarf mongoose, and he's taken a liking to this camp, and it's kind of fun. He comes and visits you at night and kind of roams around under the covers, and he likes to sleep by your feet, and it is a cool animal. Look at this guy. What a face. He loves the attention. Very social animals, very gregarious. And they even like scratches. Well, sometimes they do. Let me see. Oh, he loves this. He's like, oh yeah, oh, yeah, oh yeah, that's good. He likes under the chin too. Cool animals. A wonderful natural alarm clock, but we've got work to do. So Churchill, if you want to hang here, that's fine, but please don't make a mess. You gonna be a good boy? All right.
We're back on the trail of Inverness with Joe and Matt. We've already darted a pauper in the clan called Combat, and now it's time for us to find the Princess Inverness. You see, it's very important for Joe to find out who her father is, and he'll do that by examining her DNA. This will help him assess how social dominance is passed down through the generations.
Matt, when you get a chance, turn left. You want to go up and then around here. Exactly, right over there. Well, guys, look at this. We've got lionesses right here. And they've made their way onto the Mara River clan. Now, because both lions and spotted hyenas share the same table, i.e. this grassland savanna, eating many of the same things, there is competition between the two. And if a lion has a chance, it will often take a hyena. Not so far over there are those very important cubs, Inverness and her sister, the future leaders of the Mara River clan. If these lions move in, execution style, there'll be trouble in that clan. But guess what, guys? Lions have been killed by hyenas.
Check out this footage. It's very clear that hyenas are in no way afraid to take on a lion. They epitomize the notion of strength in numbers.
But sometimes lions will also capitalize on a hyena. For example, if these guys get a nice kill, you've got some powerful lions about, they'll move in and steal it.
As a matter of fact, a recent study of hyenas in next-door Tanzania showed that 80% of carcasses eaten by lions were actually killed by hyenas.
That's her right there.
See, that's Inverness on the right. This is the closest we've gotten to her all day. Every time we approach, she seems to want to move off.
There she goes. She's moving off. So what does that mean? Does that mean we're kind of done, or do we keep going, or?
I think the best thing for today is probably just to let her go. What happens when you start approaching the animals a lot like this, they start to kind of clue in on what you're trying to do. So she's starting to get a little nervous.
The whole thing is not to become such an intrusion that these animals break away from the study. And that's a huge challenge, to not be identified with the disturbance that these animals experience. Because when that happens, game over.
We don't want to affect any of the hyena's natural behavior with our presence, so Joe is going to do some lab work away from the field. I'm going to take this opportunity to see an animal I've always wanted to encounter, and to do so, I need to catch a train to Tsavo East National Park. While the lions we saw back at the Masai Mara may be fair competition for hyenas, the maneless lions that live in Tsavo would not tolerate sharing their dinner with anyone. And with these lions, dinner has included human beings.
This is an extraordinary but very chilling story. And what's most amazing about it is that it's all true. You see, in 1898, 2 maneless lions went on a feeding frenzy, okay? And in the end, 135 men were eaten by these powerful creatures. What were they doing? They were building the very railroad we're riding upon. It really isn't until one man, obsessed with the eating rampage of these maneless man-eaters, brought it all to an end when he hunted them down and killed them. His name was Colonel John Patterson, and he was actually the engineer in charge of constructing the bridge, which runs to this very day over the Sava River in what was formerly known as British East Africa. Well, this is it. Welcome to Savo. Well, guys, this is the very bridge which Patterson and his crew constructed in 1898. Essentially, the source of all the trouble. Over 300 men worked at this site, of which 27 were eaten by lions out of the total 135 across this great project. But right now, I want to show you the sites where these workers were camping. Try to imagine what it was like camping out here in the wilderness 100 years ago. Workers were scattered all about, and you could be here in your tent, drinking your Arabic coffee, not even knowing that there's a 400 or 500 pound cat with one thing in its mind, and that's putting you in its belly, totally out of sight. And that is a roar of a lion, in this case most likely a descendant of one of the great man-eaters of Patterson days. So let's move out of here.
Hey,
Bruce.
welcome, Jeff. Welcome
to see you.
Gala Camp.
Thank you. This is Dr. Bruce Patterson. He's a biologist, and he's got an amazing study here in the Savo East National Park, and he's looking at one extraordinary creature with somewhat of an infamous reputation. A lot of mysteries about it. I'm talking about the maneless lions that live around here. All right, so what's the plan?
The plan is for us to head off, do some tracking, follow lions, and figure out what they're doing, because that's key to solving the problem of how these lions interact with people here.
Now, when is the last time someone in this area was taken by a lion?
September.
Really? The camp where we're staying at, are there lions that come into that camp?
That roar from the airstrip that's just below us.
How about, can you jog at all near the camp?
You can.
Yeah. It's safe?
No.
True maneless lions are found only here in the Savo region, and they are still known to attack humans. Zoologist Bruce Patterson has studied these feared predators for 5 years, and he's trying to understand their aggressive nature. One lion in his study has a tracking collar, and we're trying to pick up its signal with this antenna. Unfortunately, it appears that we're not picking up a signal, but Bruce has a trick up his sleeve that has worked well in the past.
So what's the next phase?
Well, the next phase, we'll stop and set up some public address system, broadcast sound across the savannah and see if we can't coax lions out of the bush to where we can see them.
Great.
Let's see what we have in call-in tape. We'll turn on the sound. Well, we don't seem to have a response to the call. This is the tape of a baby buffalo.
Cool.
That was calling to his mother.
I've heard this sound before after my grandma's beans.
So what's this coming up next?
This is spotted hyenas at a kill site.
Hyena at a kill site. Again, an important element to our experience here in Kenya. This reminds me of a couple experiences in college. God, it's such a freaky sound, isn't it? Just so eerie. Listen to it. Shh, keep it down. You're gonna wake my roommate up. So they're actually, these hyenas were at a kill.
Right.
Were lions moving in, or were they just ecstatic
They
and
were.
ecstasy, eating and fighting over it?
That's a solicitation
Yeah.
whoop, I think, calling in the rest of the clan.
Don't move. Two lions right at, no. We're still calling our lions in. Sounds great, but with not too much luck. And as you can see, time has passed, the sun is now up. We've got to move to something else. So, what's next?
Well, we tried technology. Now it's back to the basics.
You know what? Look, we've got vultures right up there. We've got vultures. This could be a good sign. We've got some vultures volplaning up there in that hot breeze. And usually that means there's something dead and stinky beneath them. John, just creep up forward. Oh, look at this, this is nice. Bruce, guys, we've got ourselves a kill. And look at that, Bruce just moved up. Look at that guy.
Look at his tail.
Exactly what we were looking for. This is it, guys. John, hit the engines. Look at that. Isn't he beautiful? This is the creature we've come to find here. This, my friends, is a lion. Deceptive because you see no mane, but it is a male, maneless lion, a descendant of the creatures once known as the man-eaters of Tsavo.
These are the only lions that hyenas will steer clear from. Bruce has never seen a hyena go after a maneless lion kill. Part of the hyena's success relies on knowing who and who not to challenge, and no one challenges these cats.
Look at the face. You've got the female to the right. And yes, guys, to the left, that is a male. There it goes. Look at that. See that? But the great question is, Bruce, why does this big guy, this healthy-looking cat, not have a mane?
That is a $64,000 question.
Got 60 cents in a battery, which I like to lick because it's tingly.
Well, we think since this maneless trait is restricted to this part of Africa, we think that it's a response of lions to the environment, an adaptation to the hot, seasonally dry thorn scrub of Tsavo National Park.
But you can see he definitely has some sideburns though, huh?
And as well, a nape
little
of
crest.
crest running down the nape of his neck.
A little vestigial remnants of what this animal might have looked like 20, 30,000 years ago, may be a sign or a signal of who this creature evolved from. What Bruce, his team, and other scientists have discovered, in fact, that this animal is very viable, very successful. They're making lots of babies. And guess what, guys? In other parts of Africa, you might have 2, sometimes 4 pride leaders. But here, these maneless males, they do it all by themselves. They have the prides all to themselves, don't they?
They do. Around this zebra kill, we found this male, and there are at least 4 females and perhaps even a 5th scattered out here, and he's the only male in the vicinity.
So he gets all that sugar for himself. This creature is all-male cat. He's very successful as a hunter, as a breeder, as a pride leader, and of course, a reputation for being a man-eater. Scooby-Doo-ba-doo-boo-boo-doo-boo. Thanks, Bruce. That was great. I enjoyed that.
We need to get back to the Masai Mara and Joe's studying the hyenas, but we still have some time before my train leaves. This habitat looks ideal for an animal that sounds just as menacing as a lion or hyena.
It's right around here somewhere.
This is perfect habitat for this. We've seen the snake before. We've seen this animal before. Okay, here it is, right here. See that? It's on the move. See that? You see it? See that? Look at that. Very fat snake. This animal, the puff adder, named for its dramatic warning call. Oh my God, it's a snake you have to be so careful with. It's a snake you have to be terribly careful with. Terribly careful with. But it's a beautiful snake. It's a beautiful snake. Look at this. This, my friends, is the backbone of many a Eastern African legend. More people are bit by this serpent with regard to venomous snakes than any other. It is the puff adder. It is a viper. Very stout snake. It looks like he's smiling at you, but this is an animal that never is in a good mood. It has quiet moments, okay? The thing about it is it really relies on camouflage as defense, this amazing ability to blend in. But if the disappearing act doesn't work and you step upon it, it will not hesitate to nail you. The thing is, if you give it space, give it respect, recognize its territory, you won't have a problem. If you are nailed by the snake, what you gotta do is go to a hospital and get antivenom. This is for those people watching my show who live in Africa. If you go to a bush doctor, has great cultural value, but not for snake bites, and you don't get the right treatment, you can be very, very sick, even die. But if treated, you will survive. Wonderful snake, beautiful animal. Africa would not be Africa without the gorgeous bitis or puff adder. But you know what? I don't want to bump into something with a bigger bite. So let's place this snake right back where we captured it. Now let's get out of here. Come on.
We're heading back to the Masai Mara Reserve. It's too late for us to connect back with Joe. He can't dart a hyena at night. It's just not safe. So my driver Phineas and I are going to do a little exploring on our own. And the night can show some amazing hyena behavior that you just can't see during the day.
All right, friends, get ready. I'm going to give you a sneak peek into a very mysterious part of the hyena world, a place that most people never get to see, the den. A little illumination, shall we? This is the den. You've got a collared female in the den. There are approximately 30 plus hyenas coming back and forth to this den. Dens are usually constructed at the base of aardvark excavations, right? They can have up to 12 entrances, tunnels, but deep in the bowels of this den, a battle is happening between babes that will eventually determine the hierarchy when they grow into adulthood, if they grow into adulthood. Look at the teeth. Teeth that rip into muscle, crunch bone like soda biscuits. But there's so much happening there that we're just now starting to grasp. That's why this study is so important. What really goes on deep in this den remains unknown. It appears that even these hardy spotted hyenas get a little irritated by this dampness. The rain has driven these creatures deeper into the den. All right, Phineas, let's head back to camp, okay?
Okay, buddy, let's go.
All right, awesome.
Lucky for me, the rain has stopped. That means I can do a bit more exploring near my camp.
There's something you've got to check out. It's a very, very important place. It is a termite mound. And this termite city is habitat for many creatures. You can find rodents, you can find bird species, you can find reptiles. So let's just look down these little minarets and see what we can see. What else is cool? Sometimes you find cobras in these nests because even though we're very close to the equator, it can get quite chilly in Kenya, especially in winter. But the temperature is pretty much a constant inside these nests. So many animals will go get a little toasty relief inside these nests. There it is, right here.
Wait till you see this.
No, it's right here. He's wrapped around this branch. Curl him there. Oh, come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here.
Look at this. What a beauty. What a beauty.
This is perhaps what I believe to be the most mysterious of all of Africa's snakes, the blind snakes. Let me stand up and give you a better look. Have you ever seen anything more wonderfully bizarre than this, at least in the world of snakes? Rhino typhlops, right? What's cool about this group, the typhlops, is that they are fossorial. Much of their lives is spent underground, all right? They're perfectly built for just plowing through the Middle Earth of this extraordinary city. Now, they're called blind snakes because if you look at the face, you will see tiny little eye spots buried beneath a layer of scales. Perhaps they do see shades of darkness and light, but I don't think they're focusing in. These creatures are specialists. They're specialists in the way they live, and they're specialists in what they consume. And these rhino typhlops are eating organisms like termites, and they eat them by the hundreds. And this represents one animal forever dependent upon this resource. We're here in Africa. We're looking at big things like lions and hyenas. But let us not forget that the value of this place is defined in the little things as well. Very precious, very mysterious serpent. A real treat for me, one of my favorites. But we've got to make some discoveries on some of the bigger predators here, so we'll just place them down there.
Tomorrow is another big and very important day since we still need to find that elusive hyena, the Princess Inverness. We've had some brief encounters with Inverness so far, but Joe still needs to dot her and collect her very important blood for his DNA study. Just another roadblock in our quest. I'll take care of this one.
Okay, go left a bit. Okay, stop. Okay, so Inverness is sacked down about 15 meters away from her mom now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and approach. I'll load the gun up and we'll see what kind of position she's in if we can get a shot.
Okay, great. Keep your fingers crossed. Now, be honest, is this your favorite part of the study?
It's pretty fun to do the darting when it goes right, but unfortunately sometimes things don't go perfectly and it can be a bit stressful, so sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's tough.
There's a thrill element to it.
Yeah, there's a thrill, there's an adrenaline rush, but it can be tough sometimes.
Kind of like you're an assassin.
Got him there. On the road. The scope on the rifle is a bit sniper-like, so it's pretty neat. Okay, let's see what happens. Keep going, keep going. Straight. Left. Okay, shut up. Okay, the way she's lying right now, I'd be shooting her in the back, and we can't do that. So, I'll probably just get the gun up and line up a shot, and hope that she changes how she's laying, shifts her position a little bit.
Maybe this will be it. Although I'm used to her tease. What's really cool about dominance in hyena society is not only are the females the dominant ones over the males, but the ranking system, right, passes from one family to the next. Mother passes it on to daughter. Sisters maintain high ranking as well. It's almost like the royal bloodlines of Europe. Really extraordinary stuff. mojo back. It's good to see you, dude. Good to see you back in the game. I had total faith in you.
Okay, Jeff, I think we can get out and go get her now.
You want to pass me the gun?
Yeah.
This makes paintball look like having a tea party.
Lift off.
There's science everywhere. Daily Planet will show you where to look for it and what it all means. Spend some quality time on the planet. Daily Planet. Weeknights on Discovery Channel. Defying boundaries and reveling in the wonders of human potential. Celebrate the possibilities. Discovery Channel.
Finally, we've darted our hyena princess, Inverness. Time is of the essence to examine her and collect her blood.
I just want to show you that face quick. When you look at this animal, you think canine, right? You think a canine. The power of convergence, the power of the environment to manipulate what an animal will evolve to be. This is not a canine, nothing like a dog, more closely related to something like a mongoose or even a feline. Its own unique group, own family, master hunters, master survivors, hyena day, spotted hyena.
23 and a half, lower leg.
Lower leg length, 23 and a half.
Which side are you going to draw blood from?
I'm going to try
Right,
this.
okay.
Okay, so what we're going to take from her is 7 vials.
This blood contains all the secret information that has been passed down from one hyena to the next. Secrets between males and females with regard to reproduction, what determines hierarchy, all these things. Now, this is a female?
This is a female.
I gotta show this. Come here, you gotta see this. Look at this. What is really cool about this animal, and I'm not being silly about this, but it is just amazing, is the pseudopenis right here. If you were to look at a creature like this and you saw this, you would automatically determine it was what?
It's a male.
It's
exactly.
a male. But this is a female. And again, one expression of how these animals are dominant, but yet are female. And one theory of why this is like the way it is because of the high levels of hormone, right? The male hormone?
Right. It's been found that one of the things that causes this masculinization of the genitals is androgens that are expressed to the fetus very early
Right.
on in its development. But
Almost bathing it.
exactly.
Right.
But one of the interesting things is that when these androgens are suppressed, when they're held back from the fetus, you still get masculinization of the genitalia of the females. And so we still haven't figured out the whole puzzle of why they look like they do.
This is the birth canal, too.
Exactly. Female hyenas give birth, copulate, and urinate through their pseudopenis.
So this will stretch to make room for an entering sexual organ, for reproduction. It'll also stretch to make room for the passage of babies. That's, I mean,
It's incredible, isn't it?
absolutely extraordinary evolution. It's kind of like the crying game, but with hyenas.
This very unique anatomical structure gives females total sexual power when it comes to mating. Females have to actually allow males to mate with them.
Now, you've got to see this. The mouth of a hyena is unbelievable. Look at the teeth. Pound per pound with regard to pressure, this animal has the strongest jaws of any mammal of its size. But look at how beautiful those teeth are. They're perfect young teeth. These teeth are made not only to shear flesh from bone, but also crush that bone. They eat everything. While lions and leopards may be wasting up to 40% of what they take, these animals eat 90% plus. They're eating meat, bones, hooves, horns. Nothing is wasted when you're a hyena.
This is the bone-crushing tooth, and this is what makes hyenas' mouths so unique. As they chew on these
Right.
bones throughout their lives, this tooth's going to wear down. And what we do when we measure the height and the width of the surface of the tooth is that we can actually calculate fairly accurately what the age of the hyena is when we
Right.
don't know it.
A very clean-looking mouth, but man, this breath will knock you down, huh? Wah! This beautiful teeth, but boy, she could use a chiclet. See the papilla on the tongue right there? That is actually used to pull flesh away from bone to make the eating process easier. It's good for cleaning. You know, it's actually, the teeth cut into your,
Yeah, it can hurt.
it
after a while.
hurts.
Especially these.
But it's a good pain. Her jaw's starting to become a little strong there.
Just need it open for a little while longer.
Now, you keep telling me to leave it open, but I'm feeling some strength there. Have you ever had like one of these jaws close up on your hand or anything like that?
Fortunately, one of the first things to go and the last things to come back under the tealazole is the jaw strength.
Yeah,
They can't keep it shut if they want to.
that would stink. Something else you get to see. You'll never get to see this on a hyena unless you're doing this sort of stuff. Real privilege. But look at how the front limbs are longer than the back limb, giving this animal sort of that weird gait as it wobbles through its habitat. But that weird way of moving makes this animal very efficient. They can go for many, many miles at 6 miles an hour, literally waiting for their prey to be exhausted. And then they can move in very quick at speeds of sometimes more than 25, 30 miles an hour. Pretty thrilling stuff. What's next?
We're gonna load her up in the car and take her someplace safe
Right.
and wait till she recovers.
Sort of like a hyena protection program, right?
Exactly. Make sure she's okay.
All right. Watch your toes.
That was great, guys. Man, what a great journey this has been. We've experienced both the lion and the hyena. We've dispelled some of the misbeliefs that people have, and hopefully we've taken the level of this creature and lifted it up to show how truly great the hyena is. But that's it. Until we meet again, only on the Jeff Corwin Experience. All right, let's get her out of here. Great. Thank you for all your help. Exciting stuff.